I'm Claire Waters, and we've been discussing the hacktivist, now alleged terrorist group, Dedsec, on this week's Buccaneer Radio. I have Colin calling in. Colin, what's your take?
Now, I've been saying from the start we should have rounded up Dedsec and thrown them in jail. Now, I'll say they should all be lined up and shot.
You don't find it awfully convenient that they've been fingered as the attackers, but we've seen no proof?
Look at Tone! Look at our city! What more proof do you need?
Well, Colin, I'd say you have to look at their history of non-violent action. Albion's put more civilians in the hospital in the past few months than Dedsec ever has. I smell a scapegoat. Now I have Emily calling in. Emily, what's your take?
You're absolutely right, Claire. The government's just framing Dedsec because they want to make it seem like they have this under control. They probably have no clue who was behind the bombings. But that doesn't look good on the news, does it? Dedsec's been a thorn in their side. Who better to pin it on?
Angie, I have you next. What do you make of all this?
I think, if anything, Dedsec showed their true colors. It's terrifying to think we harbored such a dangerous element for years. Terrorists in our own backyard.
Do you find Dedsec more frightening than the different gangs in London, like Clan Kelly?
Clan Kelly might set your shop on fire and maybe they'd kill you, but even they wouldn't try to blow up all of Parliament.
Next, I have Crypto King. Do you feel safer using a pseudonym?
Everyone should. Why make it easier for them to track you? And now we've seen what they're capable of and how far they're willing to go.
Hold on. Do you mean the government? Are you suggesting the government was responsible for the bombings?
Oh, trust me, Claire. They didn't do it alone. They're all in on it. The government, Albion, Sirs, Bloom, Sky Bloody Larson, and all the way up to Downing Street. They want to keep us scared, harness us with mind control.
Shit. Situation is worse than I thought. Brilliant. Let's get the people of London on board. Glad to see you're alive. If you're still committed to the cause, Dedsec needs you. I'll send you the coordinates to our last safe house. Meet me there.
Fine.
The city operating system that's now powering all of London. For those of you who need reminding, as if anyone does at this point, CTOS was first used in Chicago in 2014 and then San Francisco in 2017. Before coming here to London. And every time it's been rolled out, it's been pretty much an unmitigated disaster.
For those of you who are
who are listening who are lucky enough not to be here in London's chaotic scenes, it's worth remembering that the
Auto-drive now
telecoms tower
enabled.
is now owned by Bloom. The tower looms over northwest London. It's always been a communications hub, acting as part of the UK's television and communications network, although there's been some secrecy around its use, and now that Bloom owns it, it's
Auto-drive now
only-
disabled.
Yeah, now everything that's part of Bloom's city surveillance operation is run through the telecoms tower. And I have to say, it looks completely ridiculous. It's got that silly crown thing at the top and all the blue light.
What's that even about? What does it do? I don't see that there's any purpose to that at all.
It's a blight on the skyline, if you ask me, and it's become the main point of control for millions of people. The System Network and Bagley are both operated and streamed from there too.
And don't forget about the self-driving cars too.
I always thought they were just running on their own.
No, CTOS is the big control system behind the cars. There was a point back in the earliest days of self-driving car technology that they operated by themselves. They used to use a series of sensors to see the world around them. Radar, for instance, would look far off into the distance, while LiDAR would detect objects nearby. And while these cars still use some of this technology, Bloom CTOS and detailed maps and data that it has on London will include be able to take control of it. CTOS can take control of your car if it passes incorrectly. It's no surprise that they may
It's clear the first time.
I don't answer to you. Hey!
I've downloaded a patch to your optics so you can access our security system. It's set up so that I can't just let someone who isn't Dedsec in. You'll have to do the manual override.
Secret passages and hidden bases. Oh, I fucking missed this shite.
When the three of them get going, it's just like, you know?
Why does this always bloody happen? It's unacceptable. No. I've never been so mad. As what? I refuse to put up with this. Is everything shite or only
Spend
this?
too much time online. Should we start with this too? You're gonna need me about this. First of all, I unplug all the time. I do. I go for walks, I do the dishes,
Really?
loads of things. I refuse to feel like I'm being a hermit.
What is going on? This won't solve any of your problems.
I'm addicted to fentanyl or something.
I'm on your side. Just relax. Seriously? Listen to me. Calm down. Don't fucking coddle me. You look like you've never so much as had your nose broken.
Drones flying around. They're like everywhere. You can't make it very blocky in the city without seeing problems.
Why does this always
You know they give you
bloody
cash,
happen?
right?
I refuse to put up with signals. No, thank you.
Stay there, stay.
Unbelievable. Listen to me.
Walking around inside a microwave. We're all just gonna stop anyway.
One of Sabine's, are you? I'll see you downstairs later then.
Open sesame. Anyone around? Guess not. Let's find the power then.
No Dedsec registration detected. Identify yourself, or I'll seal the exits, hack your optic, and read you every drunken email you ever wrote until you starve.
And you'll have to explain my untimely demise to Sabine.
Sabine's alive? Well, that's one piece of good news. I'm Bagley, Dedsec's definitely not stolen, highly advanced AI assistant, and it seems I've been out of commission for a few months. Anyway, why don't you go connect me to the Dedsec network so I can become more powerful than you could possibly imagine? I mean, catch up on what I missed. Ah, that's it. I'm reconnected to the network, downloading our database, news archives, and oh no. Terrorist group Dedsec responsible for deadly bombings in London. Dalton Wolf dead? I leave you people alone for a second and you immediately cock it all up.
That's the shape of it. What I want to know is if it wasn't Dedsec who did the bombings, who was it?
There's a gap in my memory after Dalton, well, let's be honest, after I disarmed the bomb at Parliament. I'm missing information about what happened after I was taken offline. But from what I can infer, an unknown hacker group identified only as Zero Day was involved. I believe this Zero Day staged the attacks and framed Dedsec for their dirty work. Come to my terminal. Sabine is requesting a video call. Patching in Sabine Brandt now. I suggest you listen very closely to anything she has to say.
There you are. I'm glad you made it. Bagley, God, it's good to hear your demented little voice. Is your memory intact?
Not even slightly. The last record I have is of our HQ being raided. My only lead is a group known as Zero Day. Ring any bells?
No. But the HQ was attacked by some men in black, the same that were at Parliament. Maybe working together. We didn't stand a chance. They just gunned everyone down.
Christ. How did you make it out?
I managed to escape through the sewers to Camden. A contact smuggled me out of the city, and I've been hiding out in the north since.
Prudent. Your profile is red flagged as a high-priority target in the city's surveillance system. Even a partial recognition here would have you hunted down and shot on sight.
Dedsec is about as popular as the plague these days. Look, you know I'd do anything for you, but fucking hell. Sabine, that's a lot to ask.
Listen, if anyone knows anything about risks, it's me. I lost everything and everyone. But it comes down to this. London is in a death spiral. And if Dedsec can't pull it out, trust me, no one can. The city needs a resistance. And it starts with you. What do you say?
Fuck it. This fate's worse than death.
Excellent. New user registered. Welcome to Dedsec. Now, it would be irresponsible of us to release you naked and mewling into the wild. You'll find equipment around the safe house that are essential. Items in your Dedsec kit.
I'm Claire Waters, and we've been discussing the hacktivist, now alleged terrorist group, Dedsec, on this week's Buccaneer Radio. I have Colin calling in. Colin, what's your take?
Now, I've been saying from the start we should have rounded up Dedsec and thrown them in jail. Now, I'll say they should all be lined up and shot.
You don't find...
We have a sophisticated system for hiding your identity from facial recognition tech. It's called a mask. And while we're here, perhaps we can talk about updating your wardrobe. I mean, look at you. Come on.
You've got all these fancy new toys, but it's also important to know the basics. You need to learn how to throw a punch and how to take one. Albion will escalate if you come at them with a gun and shoot you down. We want to avoid collateral damage. In Dedsec, we try to use guns only as a last resort.
Have you already met Connie Robinson? She owns the pub and is an old Dedsec contact, not to mention a champion amateur boxer. Go to the practice ring.
Start with some basic strikes. Hit me. Don't be shy. You want to get in under my block. Find the weak point. Yes! Nice one! Nice one! Quick on your feet now. You want to create distance. Just like that. Couldn't have done that better myself.
There's only one more skill you need to master: socialization. The rest of your team has arrived. Why not go and have a chat?
Welcome aboard.
Oh, yes. I'm ready, willing, and able to serve.
Hey.
So we're Dedsec now, just like that. Do we get like a training or anything? I'd settle for a pamphlet. Did you get a pamphlet?
Yeah. I wish we had the time to prepare, but the job needs doing now.
Now that you're all as thick as cyber thieves, Sabine would like to talk to you.
Well done, team. It's good to see the safe house filling up again. The only way we're going to keep London from falling into total oppression is by rebuilding the resistance. We need to recruit, train, build back our arsenal. The people are itching to rise up and take their city back. We just need to show them that Dedsec are fighting along with them.
To be honest, I think I'd be put to better use in the skull-cracking department.
Albion PMCs have occupied this city. Anyone they don't like gets locked up and beaten.
Yeah, and there's Clan Kelly running all the crime and shit. And Albion won't lift a fucking finger.
Fair, but remember that this zero-day hacker group is still out there. They took out Dedsec once, and it's a good bet they'll try again. I believe they were responsible for the bombings and framed Dedsec. With your help, I plan to get to the bottom of this mystery.
I'd say that's a full docket. Enough talk. Let's unfuck London.
First order of business. The Signals Intelligence Response Service, or SIRS, or the Earl Grey Gestapo, have developed a surveillance technology called AR reconstruction. It's the bleeding edge of privacy rights violation, and thus it could be very useful in our attempts to find Zero Day.
We have some